Hello, Leo, Leo Sun, Leo Rising, and Leo Moon individuals. I am Poetic Heretic, and this is your February 2019 tarot forecast. So it looks like my camera is a little blurry right off the bat, so I'm going to try to fix that. All right. So this will be a Celtic cross for the sign of Leo for the month of February 2010. Looking at all areas of life, a nice general reading. Okay, so we would like a Celtic cross forecast for everyone vibrating on the frequency of Leo for the month of February 2019. Let us see what we get. What does the universe have to say to all of those of the Leo vibration in this Celtic cross forecast? What are you doing right here, right now? What will be the energy of February 2019 for all those of the Leo frequency? We're still rocking and rolling here. Earlier the cards were locking right away, but not for you guys. You guys must be calling forth a very special sort of reading. Although I guess they all are, really. Okay, here we go. All right, your current outside influences, the Ten of Pentacles reversed. The challenge, the Queen of Wands. The underlying energy forming a foundation for the current situation this month, Strength reversed. The past, the King of Swords. Hope to achieve, the Knight of Wands. I almost said reverse, but it's upright. The near future, the Eight of Swords. Your attitude or position on the situation, the Eight of Pentacles. The outside force coming in, the Fool. Hopes or fears, Three of Swords. And the final outcome card is the Tower. Wow, ending the month on one hell of a note, aren't you? Some intense changes coming your way. Now, the nature of those changes we will get into. So, beginning the month here, you indeed do have the Ten of Pentacles reversed. Now, there are two main possibilities with this, because it is reversed. One, quite negative, one, maybe not so negative. So, the worst possibility first is that this will indicate around the beginning of the month, the idea of terrible misfortune, loss, ruin, lessons going unlearned, things of this nature, especially like financial problems and stuff like that. But fortunately, with this card having such a positive meaning when upright, there's also the possibility that that energy, that positive energy, is just blocked somewhat, and it's not an absolute disaster. Now, how is that going to manifest for everyone of the sign of Leo out there? Well, from what I'm seeing here, it's probably going to vary. I'm giving these as the two main possibilities, but if it's just blocked somewhat, then it's like there is this sense of success or sense of completion or some kind of financial windfall or something like that, but it just isn't as great as it would be if this card was upright. It isn't major, but it's something. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Two possibilities I'm giving for the Ten of Pentacles reversed. One positive, one negative. But, you have to remember, even if it does manifest as terrible misfortune and loss, these experiences of challenge are a part of physical life. If we didn't have experiences letting us know what we don't prefer, we could not know what we do prefer with such clarity. So for the challenge card, you have the Queen of Wands. So this is a court card, so it could be an adult female fire sign, which could be the sign of Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. Could even be referring to you personally, Leo, or another fire sign, even another Leo. And showing up as a challenge card, well, this person could be a challenge to you this month, very basically speaking, but it's not always that simple or obvious. It could be much more the idea of this person is presenting to you a reflection of an aspect of yourself that needs to be integrated within you and also in the context of your day-to-day life experience. So there's that possibility, so be aware of that. There's also the general meaning of the Queen of Wands, which talks about passion and being willing to take action and courage and strength and being resolute and sophisticated in a spontaneous sense, inspiration, creativity, things of this nature. And so I'm thinking, based on the other cards that I'm seeing here in front of me, that this is going to be quite probable for you this month, is that the challenge is for you to be yourself, basically, to be your passionate, inspired, creative Leo self. So that is what I have to say about that. Now for the underlying energy, speaking of your sign of Leo, we have your card, the Major Arcana, Strength, ruled by Leo. And it is reversed, and it's showing up for the underlying energy, everything forming a foundation for your current situation this month. So Strength reversed, unfortunately, is not having that ability to rein in your darker emotions or achieve a sort of soft control or control through faith or control through making peace with the darker aspects of yourself, like anger and things like that. So you might want to watch out for that. Now, this could also, because the connotation of the underlying energy, might even not necessarily refer to you, could refer to some people around you, might be having issues with anger and stuff like that and not quite knowing how to control them. But regardless, if you do feel like that applies to you, take the lesson from the upright meaning of the card where it talks about use your mind to tame the beast within yourself, as the imagery of the card does indeed suggest. Use it indeed. And let me see if there's anything else there that I would like to talk about with this. Well, there's also the possibilities of things like feeling tired, fatigue, weakness, things like this. Also, like sexual hangups, like sexual conflicts with this card's association with sexuality. It's known as the lust card in other decks, in fact. Now, interestingly enough, though, at least in the Rider-Waite, it is card 8 to the Major Arcana, and you also got the 8 of Swords and the 8 of Pentacles in this reading. Your 8th house is activated intensely. That is the house corresponding to the energy of Scorpio, which is all about transformation, life and death. Death and rebirth can also refer to business and other people's money, and even the idea of taxes. But I think and perhaps we'll get more into this as we get to those cards, those additional cards, but I think what the idea really is this month for you is this idea of transformation and of letting go of what doesn't work to make room for what will now work. So I would say keep that in mind. So for the past, you have the King of Swords. This could have been a situation involving an adult male air sign in Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. This could also be a situation, whether it was a challenging one or not, but one where you really had to think clearly, see things clearly, think logically, and use your technical know-how, scientific know-how, perhaps. But with that 10 of Pentacles reversed for your current outside influences, it might not have gone so well. But regardless, it is showing up here as connected to your current issues. So a situation where you needed to think logically, clearly, rationally, technically, scientifically, whether you did or not. It's like the cards are saying with that showing up in the past position, that is connected to your current manifestations. So for what you hope to achieve, you have the Knight of Wands. Again, another court card. This would be an adult male fire sign. So Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius could again be talking about you as a Leo. But so what do we have here? We have, similar in ways to the Queen of Wands, your challenge card, we have you're hoping to achieve the idea of ambition, drive, passion, taking action, inspiration, being willing to assert yourself, the entrepreneurial spirit, things like this. The Knight of Wands is powerful fire energy, sometimes, or perhaps even many times with the Knights, too much fire energy. But regardless, this is falling in the position of what you hope to achieve. So that combined with everything else we're seeing here is like saying this is a month. This is a month for you to assert yourself, basically. This is a month for you to act on your inspiration and passion. Be assertive. Take action towards what you want to create or manifest in your life. For the near future, you have the 8 of Swords. So this is another card where it can be positive or negative. Starting with the negative side of things, it could indicate feeling trapped, feeling isolated, feeling cut off, feeling like your mind is cut off from your emotions. You can see the figure here elevated above this water, representing the emotions or even the subconscious or unconscious. There may be issues that you have repressed, that you have not yet dealt with, that you need to deal with, because in not dealing with them, they are causing you problems currently. Again, your mind needs to go into the darkness. The figure is blindfolded. The idea of don't look outside of you for the answers, look within yourself for the answers. Again, this is in the first week or two, particularly with the near future card. So we have those possibilities. Let us see here. There's also, again, this idea with it being an 8 of transformation, and if you are needing to go into uh, the shadow side of your personality to transform something, then indeed that is a transformation, or to bring the light of your awareness to an issue to process it, or multiple issues. That is a transformation, and it will change your life. It will change what you tend to attract into your life once you have purified yourself in that way. Um, let's see what else. In a more negative sense, though, I mean, I guess we kind of went from negative to positive without my really announcing it, but um, in a more negative sense, though, again, this can even be the idea of like arrogance and pride. So, especially with that Knight of Wands showing up, and even also the Queen of Wands for your challenge card, like don't don't be too prideful this month if you find yourself going in that direction. Know when to draw the line in that area. Because again, with Knights, it's so often the case that we either have too much or too little of that energy. So if you have too much assertion and aggression and pride, especially in this case, then work on that. Try to tone that down, get more in touch with yourself. Again, this is like the mind being disconnected from the heart or the emotions. This card. All right, so moving on. Right after that, your attitude or position on the situation. About halfway through the month, you have the Eight of Pentacles. This is yet another 8, the third and final 8 in the reading. So more of this idea of transformation and whatnot. But in this case, it's saying that you're feeling like you're ready to work away on things. You're ready to work hard. You're ready to work steadily away at something, whether it's your job or a project you're working on or whatever. It can be the idea of interesting work projects are now underway, or you're feeling more interested in your work. A time for creativity, you're feeling more creative. And so if that Queen of Wands perhaps is calling on you to be more creative this month, then by halfway through the month, you're feeling it. So that's very good. You're feeling more creative, maybe even as a result of meeting the challenge of the Eight of Swords that we just went over. So excellent. Exercise your creativity. Creativity is largely what life is all about. So for the outside force coming in, you have the Fool. So this is someone or something coming at you, not really talking about you specifically or you individually. It's someone else or something else or a situation. But the Fool is a spontaneous new development, a new adventure. So there may be, oh man, there's a number of possibilities here. There could be a new opportunity coming your way, first of all, for you to go on a new adventure, but it's something coming at you, presents itself to you. You don't have to assert yourself to it. It's something that presents itself to you. This could also be a person that comes your way who is very spontaneous, like the Fool, and who is beginning something else in their life. Maybe someone in your life is beginning something new and this month, and you get wrapped up in it. That's another possibility. And especially, with with that outcome card of the Tower, we'll come to that. That may very well be the case. This might be a month where things change significantly for you, Leo. For your hopes or fears, you have the Three of Swords. This card talks about everything from broken heart to trouble, shock, worry, trauma, stress, schedule mishaps, accidents, miscommunication, poor communication, crosswords, hurt feelings, things of this nature. Fortunately, it's only following in your hopes or fears position, so you might be concerned about that, about feeling that way yourself, or maybe accidentally causing pain to someone else or something like that. So I would say just be careful with that. It's not exactly a big deal. Another thing, though, that this card can talk about is telling it like it is, laying it on the line, saying what you really think and feel. And if you're sort of thinking in the back of your mind that you're hoping that you have the wherewithal to do that, well, that's a very positive thing. And I would say, indeed, reach for that. Maybe that's also what that Knight of Wands is about, what you hope to achieve to some extent, asserting yourself in a very authentic way, saying what you really think and feel. And your final outcome card for this month is indeed the Tower. The sudden, shocking change or development, the sudden revelation or insight, all of these sorts of things. Now, of course, in a negative sense, this card can often spell disaster, but that's a bit of a stretch to say that your month is going to end on the note of a disaster, especially when we aren't seeing other cards that would be strong indicators of that. Instead, what did we see earlier with the Fool? We saw that sudden, spontaneous energy coming at you, that Uranian energy. And that's the energy that you have to pass through to get to the Tower. And so now this card, it's rather odd, actually. This card is not ruled by Uranus. It's ruled by Mars. And yet it has very much that Uranian energy of the sudden, shocking development of things changing, even things collapsing so that new things can happen. Remember those 8s you got this month as well, talking about letting go of the what am I saying here? Letting go of the old to make room for the new. Well, by the end of the month, you've likely very much done that, or if you haven't done that, life may do it for you with the Tower card and all of its sudden, shocking, deconstruction connotations. But what I'm thinking is that the Fool, for the outside force coming in, is someone in your life who has gone on some new adventure, made some change, and you indeed might get swept up in it. And that's what the Tower card for your outcome could be all about. By the end of the month, things are changing and changing rapidly. Things are suddenly collapsing in a sense, though not necessarily negatively, and a new phase of life is beginning. This can even be the collapse of your belief systems in some cases, and then the acceptance of new belief systems. So could be an excellent time to let go of negative beliefs and formulate some positive beliefs. Remember, as I always tell people, your beliefs form reality. So if you feel like this is the time for you to do that, like the time is right for you to do that, then do it indeed. So, all right, Leo, quite the dynamic month ahead of you. Should be quite the ride. Hope you enjoy. If you'd like to get a personal reading with me, I do go live regularly on this channel doing live tarot readings for donations of any amount. You could literally just pay $1 and I will give you a tarot reading on anything you want. So if you're not subscribed already, be sure to subscribe so that you can see when I do those streams. Normally, I do them on Wednesdays, sometimes also though on Mondays and Saturdays. And if that schedule ever changes, I'll be sure to let everyone know. But for now, you can subscribe and look for me on those days. And as long as you can give me a donation through PayPal or Super Chat, then I will be more than happy to give you a nice, thorough tarot reading, as thorough as it needs to be anyway. So thanks so much for watching, Leo. Looks like you've got quite the month ahead of you again, but looks like more or less things are about to change for the better for you. You're going to engage in transformation. So go get them. All right, so thanks again, Leo. I hope to see you next time. It's been fun.